How's it going, everyone? My name is Quasi, and welcome to the AstroPark. This will be a channel that's dedicated to my journey into this crazy, frustrating, but fun and rewarding hobby of astrophotography. And I'll also talk about some astronomy topics as well. Now, for most amateur astronomers and astrophotographers, they tend to take their observations and photo sessions in their own backyards. However, for me, unfortunately, I don't have that luxury. Yep, so here is my backyard. It's rather small, rather compact, so there's not much room to do astrophotography here. But even if there was, as you can see here, I have all these trees surrounding my area. So definitely not the most ideal of locations to do astronomy or astrophotography. So what I do is I take my equipment down to the middle of the park and I do all of my observations and photo sessions there. And that's how I was able to come up with the name for this channel, AstroPark. Now, where my astronomy interest began was back when I was a little boy. If you ever talk to my family or my closest friends, they'll probably mention to you these three words: Quasi loves space. From watching Star Trek reruns on television to going to the library to check out books on anything that talked about the moon, the planets, the sun, comets, asteroids, you name it. If it was hovering above our heads, I was either reading about it, watching it, or doing a combination of the two. And just like all boys at that age, I had a dream of becoming an astronaut when I grew up. Now, as you can see, I'm not an astronaut, but I was able to accomplish something just as great. I'm currently a NASA engineer, and I've been working with NASA for the last 6 years now, and it has been an amazing experience. So, as far as my journey goes into astronomy and astrophotography, I basically started with, well, the basics. I just first started by going outside, looking up with my own eyes and making observations of the night sky, studying the constellations, things of that nature. I then graduated by using a pair of binoculars to get some up-close views on a few things. I then, back in 2017, I was able to buy my very first telescope. Not this giant refractor that's behind me, but I started with a small, compact 3.5-inch diameter refractor. It was a doublet. And I used that to basically look at the moon, the planets, and only the brightest of the deep space objects. So I did visual observations for a year to further learn the constellations in the night sky, and the overall result was just breathtaking. From seeing the up-close craters on the moon to seeing the Galilean moons orbiting Jupiter and the magnificent rings around Saturn. It was just basically one of those items on your bucket list that you need to check off. So I did that for about a year, and in June of 2019, I decided to take the plunge into trying out astrophotography. And astrophotography being difficult was quite the understatement. Like, I struggled a lot in the early stages, from trying to learn good PhD to guiding practices to figure out where cables are plugged into successfully, polar alignment, and amongst other things. It was just it was a complete mess. So I went onto YouTube and I discovered some amazing ladies and gentlemen that have helped me personally on my astrophotography journey. And some of these people don't need any introduction, such as Trevor Jones from Astro Backyard, Dylan O'Donnell from Star Stuff, Chuck Ayub from Chuck's Astrophotography, Helena Cochran from Helena's Astrophotography. The list basically just goes on and on. And there were some magnificent astrophotography content creators that I learned some very good tips and tricks from. So I adapted those to my situation, and I was able to learn from my mistakes. And finally, in May of 2020, I was able to successfully capture my first image of M81 and M82. Those are Bode's Galaxy and the Cigar Galaxy. So a pair of galaxies for my very first photo was spectacular, right in the middle of galaxy season. And when I saw that photo after I finished processing it for the first time, I was like, yeah, I could get into this. So the bug just struck, so to speak, and I've been doing it ever since for the last year and a half, almost 2 years now. And it's been a lot of fun. So I wanted to make this channel as a way to give back to the astrophotography community, to basically thank everyone that has helped me thus far, as well as showcase some things that I have learned along the way, as well as my own personal tips and tricks. And as far as my astrophotography interests go, I mainly do both deep space and solar system photography. So deep space in terms of the galaxies, star clusters, and nebulae. And so far for solar system, I've only done a few planets, but I do want to dip my toes into trying some up-close shots of the moon, as well as try and do some solar astrophotography, because that looks really cool and I want to try that. So as far as the schedule goes, I'm going to try and get videos out as soon as I can get them. I don't have a schedule at this time, because I'm sure most astrophotographers will tell you this hobby basically depends on the weather. So if it's cloudy and it's rainy, I can't shoot a video at that time. And also, as I mentioned before, I work a full-time job at NASA, and that definitely takes top priority. So I'm just going to try my best to get videos out as I can when I can make them. So yeah, that's basically it. I don't know where this channel is going to go, but I'm excited, and I hope you guys are as well. And I hope you'll come along with me for the ride. So I'd like to conclude by showing you a montage of all the photos that I've taken over the course of my journey to date, from my very first photo to my most current photo, in chronological order. So please enjoy the photos, and until next time, take care, and I wish you all clear skies.